What is up, New England? Thanks for being awesome and hanging out with us here on NESN Sports Weekend. I'm Emerson Lotzia, and don't look now or do, but it's completely up to you. The Super Bowl, it's back on for the Patriots, baby, and if there's ever a week to give the Special Teams Player of the Week to the entire Special Teams unit, so like all 11 guys, this is it. All right, let's roll the tape. We got a beautiful blowout to get to inside the brand spanking new SoFi Stadium. Opening drive, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Cam Newton taking flight for the game's first touchdown, then hitting us with the Euro step Selly, also known as traveling. Second quarter, ladies and gentlemen, where were you when the legend of Gunnar Olszewski was born? Denied a return touchdown last week. This time, hit it, quit it, let's say we did it. 70 yards, be afraid, people. Be very afraid. First Patriots punt return touchdown since 2014. Under a minute to play in the half. Cam Newton's 69th rushing touchdown of his career. Yeah, nice. He's a bulldozer playing quarterback. With 3 seconds to play in the second quarter, so nice, they're going to do it twice. The Chargers' field goal is blocked, and Devin McCourty says, "My germs." Third time in 2 decades, the Patriots get 2 special teams touchdowns in the same game. Riding a 28-0 lead in the third quarter, L.A. has a mountain of adversity to climb, and that's Justin Herbert delivering the perfect pass to Chase Winovich, setting up this 1 touchdown pass. Everybody knows the rules. Superman to the doughboy N'Keal Harry, which brings me to my next point. The Patriots win 45-0, marking the second largest shutout win in franchise history.
I was really proud of our football team today. Coming across the country, these guys have really worked hard, had a good week of preparation, really put a lot into it. We've got a lot of great leadership from, as always, our captains, but many of our other veteran players. Some of our younger players have really, stepped up their preparation levels as well. And it was nice to see it come together today.
Coach always talks about playing complementary football, and today was a great example of that. It feels great to get a team win. The energy was outstanding. The California weather's nice. The stadium's beautiful. Life is good.
Cam has just been nothing but supportive, just trying to make sure that I keep giving my all day in and day out. And as far as weight off my shoulders, not really. I've just been approaching every day the same. I don't feel frustrated. I've just been trying to do everything I can to help my team get the win, and I'm glad I could contribute today.
Well, another fun little tidbit. Bill Belichick can add to his LinkedIn page after Sunday. He's now the only coach in the Super Bowl era to earn a win at 50 different NFL stadiums. He's played at U.S. Bank, but losing a pretty big game there a few years back to the Eagles, and he's yet to step foot inside Las Vegas's new Allegiant Stadium. Special teams looking ridiculously special on Sunday. Matt Chatham, you know all about that life, my friend. Yeah. What message did New England just send the rest of the league?
This happens every time a year. It's not always New England that does this, but you get to sort of the post-Thanksgiving time, and it's supposed to be weather that brings this into play, right? So this
not in L.A., baby.
It's game in L.A., so it really doesn't fit, right? But you do sort of turn that corner, and there are teams where they start to figure themselves out, and they say, you know what, we're a possibly 300 net yards a game offense. We got to start generating points in other places. And it's interesting to me that the return game has kicked up so much. The one big punt return in this particular game for the Pats was actually a really cool chess move kind of in-game thing.
Why is special teams for the Patriots like the one thing that stays consistently good on this team, like no matter the season?
You spend on it. You make transactions in season where you continue to buffer that area. You care about it, right? And I think it's something that gets hammered also in meetings when this hasn't been a good kick return team. And they, we've gone, however many, a couple months here of season where there were drives started around 20, take kickoffs brought back to 17, kickoffs brought back to 22. And it was, they did make a little change up there. You'll notice Gunnar Olszewski's making most of his real huge impact here on punts. He lost basically the kick return gig. Dante Moncrief pops in there, and he looks pretty efficient there. But Olszewski settles into, okay, this is my role now. He covered today. He makes a tackle as a coverage player also, gets the big touchdown. But I think part of it is sort of sharpening the knife. You look and say, okay, we need to figure out how to devise a better return that actually gets out here, and we got to make sure we got the right personnel doing it. So it's part of the learning process, but it's also a team that's not, your open day roster, your special teams group all the way through at the end of the season. That's just not who they are.
All right, well, let's go 2 straight weeks now. Cam has less than 100 yards through the air. At what point could a lackluster passing attack come back to hurt him, Matt?
If they trail by 3 scores, you have to have that kind of game to get back in. If you don't, stats do not matter one bit whatsoever.
I mean, the Chargers offense, too, entered this game averaging nearly 400 yards a game. How the heck did the Patriots defense shut them out?
So one of the biggest things, Emerson, that jumped out to me early in those first couple drives was disruption. And it's basically you're trying to reroute, we called it. You beat up the tight end, you beat up the receiver. Whoever's first out of their route, you have to hit them in that first 5 yards. They're tight on it these days in the NFL. But if you go back and watch that Houston game, the game against the Texans, it was maddening for a guy like me who's been through that system, and I know how much they hammer on that point, to watch the receivers free release, build on them, build on them, build on them, and it looked like the game was like, wow, I thought they had a really good back end. Those are very talented defensive backs. How are they giving up completions? This team offensively is built a lot like the Texans, real deep. All 3 of the top receivers are pretty good. The tight end's good. Backs are good, all that kind of thing. You can send it any number of places. But the formula changes dramatically if as the ball snaps, the first place he's looking is getting hit, and he's being disrupted to get to where he wants to go. And then he looks to the second place, and that guy's getting hit. So then it becomes less about matching foot speed and just running side by side with guys down the field. I think the reroute element was one of the biggest changes of this team. Plus, the return of Adam Butler, Josh Uche, the rush really looks to be improved a lot as well. Right.
But I need you to hang tight. We're taking a trip around the league for some quick hits coming up, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, as for the playoff picture, the Patriots doing their part, but shutting out the Chargers there, yes. That doesn't help them move up the standings because the Raiders, Dolphins, Colts, and Browns, 4 of the 5 teams ahead of New England in the standings, they all won.